And welcome back. The East Harlem Council for Human Services Incorporated celebrated its 60th anniversary gala, honoring 6 transformative leaders who've made an impact and a lasting one on the community, including the recipient of the Hero of Hope Award. Our next guest is a Bronx-born pioneer in music and innovation and pediatric cancer advocacy. He's dedicated his life to making a difference through the Cristian Rivera Foundation, a cause very close to his heart. Joining us is the founder of the Cristian Rivera Foundation, Gungie Rivera, and thank you so much for joining us, John.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, so for people who don't know, obviously, about the Cristian Rivera Foundation, first let's talk about that and the work that you've done.
I started the Cristian Rivera Foundation 16 years ago after my son died of a horrific and rare pediatric brain tumor. The name of the tumor is DIPG, which stands for diffused intrinsic pontine glioma. It's a brain stem tumor and it affects children typically 2 to 10, and there's only about 200 cases in the United States each year. It's inoperable. There is yet a cure, and the survival rate when my son was diagnosed was 0%.
And going from there to today, obviously, and thank you for sharing. And for those who don't know, your story. Thank you for taking the time to share that. You took your pain and actually turned it into a purpose, and you've created this foundation. And you said that you didn't want your son's legacy just to die in vain, but you took it a step further. What were you hoping to come from this?
Eventually, a cure. When my son was diagnosed in 2007, the team of oncologists that met with me said I would not see a cure in my lifetime, and I wouldn't see a survivor in my lifetime. And that didn't sit well with me. I am someone who my entire life has taken obstacles that were difficult and turned them into solutions. I believe in problem solving, not dwelling on the problem. So when they told me that, I refused to believe that. And I got extremely aggressive for the next 2 years. My son lived 2 years, which at the time was unheard of. Kids were dying typically 3 to 9 months after diagnosis. And I did extensive research. I visited many places and met with so many amazing doctors, both from the conventional world and the holistic world. And I am happy to say, although my son passed away, which is extremely sad, I was happy to say that he did live longer than most kids at the time. And he had a great deal of good quality of life. So during the 2 years, he had approximately a year that he had good quality of life. So that made me happy.
Yeah. You talk a lot about this one word. It's called resilience. And that's a word that pops up all throughout your journey. You talk about your son, resilience in his journey. How is it shaping your work today and what you do? Because you talked about, hey, listen, I heard what the doctor said, but I'm not gonna let it end here.
Well, listen, resilience is something that in our lifetime, we've seen how resilience uh, can be a winning factor. Look at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with his civil rights movement. Um, when you believe in a cause and you just push forward and you focus on solutions, and every now and then you may hit a roadblock, you go over that roadblock, under it, on the side of it, but you got to keep pushing forward. And I am proud to say that today there is a 2% survival rate. Still not acceptable, but I'd rather have 2% than zero. And another major factor, because of the research that I funded, um, we funded rather through the foundation, children that were typically only living 3 to 9 months are now living 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That's unheard of. So when a child is diagnosed and they're living longer, it gives us time to find a cure. So a child with DIPG today has more chances on living longer and living forever because we don't know what's going to happen from one year to the next. We could finally get lucky and uh, discover the agents that work, or discover a, a solution, a trial that's effective. And that's what the end goal is. And resilience plays a role. Do you know how many times our medical partners have been told, hey, you you're wasting your time with this. There's only a few hundred kids in the USA that are diagnosed each year. This isn't something that's an urgency. And a lot of these institutions look at it as the bottom line. How much money can we make off of this if we're only going to treat a fraction of the 200 children? And I'm proud to say that our medical partners have ignored those um, conversations and just kept plowing forward. And
Yeah.
that is resilience.
Yourself, when I think about the work that you've done, you're working with your son's foundation. Um, it didn't just start there. You've had a career in the music industry,
Yeah.
and very successful in that. And then when it came time to put this foundation together, you decided to form a board. Now, they tell me that some of the people you have is actors Kenan Thompson, Luis Guzman, Malik Yoba, Berto Colon, AJ Calloway, and NBC anchor Darlene Rodriguez, who spent some time with us here at this station. We
Yeah.
spent some time early on.
Yeah. Her and I've had many conversations about BronxNet and how she got her start. And one of the tipping points was her interviewing another fellow board member who's a Bronxite, Fernando Ferrer, which
Yeah.
happy birthday, Fernando.
Yeah.
His birthday is today.
Wow, amazing. And I shout out to Fernando Ferrer. He shouted me out on my birthday, which was just last week. So I want to give him a
Listen,
shout out.
happy belated birthday to you.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. But today it's about you. So let me keep plowing away. Um, I want.
I want to just point out we also have some other high profile board members like boxing champion Edgar Berlanga, who's only lost one boxing match. And interestingly enough, he has 18 first round knockouts. The person that has the second most is the great Mike Tyson, that has 13 first round knockouts. We also have an artist, Danny Cortez, who's one of the hottest artists in the world. He just came back from his tour in France. He does those miniature models of iconic New York sites. Like, you ever went to the neighborhood and see an ice box next to the bodega? Well, he does those ice boxes and many other things like a phone booth and things like that. I mean, he even does it with the tags that it has on it, some graffiti on it, stickers. I mean, this guy's amazing. We
Amazing.
have we have Gio Urshela, who's a Major League Baseball player. He plays for the Athletics. Um, I can go on and on. We have such an amazing board. We have very prominent business people, the vice president of Goya Foods. I can go on and on. And I'm very proud of the board because it's because of the board that we've been able to push our agenda forward.
Well, let me insert this here because when you talk about such a diverse board and bringing them all, to the table, what's the pitch that you give to say, listen, I want you to be a part of this?
I really have to say, they make a pitch to us. When they attend an event, they're so moved by what they've experienced. And I wish that you could uh, watch the videos for the gala or our mission videos. They come to us and say, how can we get involved? How can we become a board member? So most of the time, much more than 50% of the time, that's the case. I don't need to pitch it to them because it's something that you don't have to pitch. I don't have to pitch to someone that they should buy water if they're in the desert. It's something that they want, you know?
Yeah. Yourself, the work that you've done has been recently honored. You got the Hero of Hope Award. I let it do it earlier on as I introed the segment here for us. For yourself to be able to be honored with the Hero of Hope Award at the 60th anniversary gala, what did that mean for you?
I mean, as flattered and honored as I was, the true hero that evening was Dr. Adam Aponte, who's the CEO of Borinquen Center and Borinquen Center. They accept walk-ins with no insurance, no money. They don't turn anyone down, even if you're an immigrant. They just are amazing. They truly are the heroes. Me, um, I've been giving back and helping organizations like Hispanic Federation, the Kits Bay Boys Club. I can go on and on since I was a kid. So I was sort of um, I wasn't given another option. I dived into this foundation because I wanted children to live and I didn't want to see families ripped apart and children suffer the way my son Christian suffered. So, what's the definition of a hero? The hero is the person who has options, but they choose the right path. A hero is Roberto Clemente, who used to bring aid to Nicaragua and on his off season and do baseball clinics. Those are the heroes. There's no reason why they do it. They just want to do it.
Yeah. For yourself now, I think about advocacy and the work that you do. And then you got your board, you've got things that are going on, projects that you're leaning into. How do you keep the balance? You got the music, you know, right? How do you keep the balance of all of these things working together so that way, A, you can accomplish the social causes that you want to be able to accomplish, but at the same time, all the other things in the fire that you have?
Um, you can't be allergic to work. I work I work 6 days a week, and sometimes work a few hours on Sunday morning. I own a media buying company. I pitch endorsements for my high profile clients. We offer creative services, digital marketing. I've been in that space for such a long time. Um, it was my second job. I was a tutor. And then when I was like 15, and then after that, I worked for an ad agency. I started in the mailroom and then I worked my way up. So I've been in that creative and marketing and advertising space my entire life. And so it's difficult to balance, but anyone can do anything as long as they put their mind to it, apply great time management, and just remember you got to go for walks, you got to take a break, and you also have to find a balance of some sort of happiness. And that happiness comes from my family. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and my son's over 30, my oldest son, who's now went back to grad school. He's going to be a chiropractor. They bring me the most joy. So when you are working hard, but then you take a break and you find some joy, um, that helps you uh, continue uh, the rigorous schedule.
Yeah. Well, the theme of this year's gala is saving lives and building futures. So, as a father, as an advocate, what does that mean to you?
Um, that means everything. Uh, Saving lives, building futures. Children are the future, and that should be our biggest investment.
And as we talk about investment, how do people take the time to, if they want to become, an investor? I don't want to say an investor. How do they invest in the work that you're doing and the foundation?
They can donate to Christian 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 doesn't have an H Rivera Foundation.org, and they can click on more info or simply donate. And we're GuideStar Platinum, best not-for-profit, 8 years running. I think we're GuideStar Platinum 7, 8 years running. And GuideStar is a big deal. It's full transparency, and our dollars go to great use. We fund family support, and we fund amazing research by two of the most brilliant minds in the pediatric brain tumor world. Dr. Mark Swedane, who's the vice chair at Weill Cornell Medical Center's pediatric oncology and spinal division, and Dr. Oren Becker, who heads the tumor tissue research over at Mount Sinai.
Right. And John, I gotta say that there's progress that's been made. I mean, when we think about what's going on, since your son's passing, we got stories of children who are responding to actually the treatment now, and things are looking upwards. Your thought when you know now that you're seeing the response to treatment, and even though you're not all the way there, there's progress that's being made.
I'm optimistic. I'm so optimistic. Some progress is better than no progress, and progress fuels you, and I'm fueled. Yeah. I'm in this fight as long as I live.
Yeah. And so as I think about the work that's going on, you've worked in the music industry, you've worked in the social justice and advocacy right now. What's the message for people about finding your purpose and finding that cause that really drives you? And anybody that spends 5 minutes, which you can tell that this is a passion of yours, how do you pass that on to somebody else to find their passion and get behind it?
Just start. Do something. And it starts with just a seed. And then once that seed is planted, it's going to blossom. I mean, I've met people who say to me, I want to get involved, but I'm super busy. There's not much time you have to invest in this. And it's those same people that are probably the most involved, because once they see the progress and they meet these beautiful children and they see that they're making a difference in these children's lives, what better gift can you give yourself?
Indeed, indeed. And for people who want more information, how do they go about finding that?
Again, our website, ChristianRiveraFoundation.org. You can email us. There's an info section, and we get back to everybody within 24 hours.
John Gungie Rivera, good to see you, brother. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Keep up the great work. An honor and a privilege to talk to you, bro.
I'm so honored to be on the show, and you're a fantastic host, and your questions were amazing. Thank you so much for allowing me the spotlight to talk about this very meaningful cause.
Hey, you deserve it, brother. You deserve it. Good to see you. All righty.
Happy belated birthday.
Hey, man, thanks. I receive it. All righty.